Thokozani bogogo nabomkhulu. It's me, it's Matabelo, an indigenous prophet, Numtandazeli, operating in the south of Sabah. I was told to make this video because there are a lot of people who are conflicted about their gifts, and it's only elongating their suffering due to the fact that they are intrinsically and deeply rooted within a religious space. It might be predominantly the Christian space, which actually I was looking at stats the other day that Christianity is the most dominant religion in most African countries. And there's nothing wrong with being Christian, there's nothing wrong with being a Christ follower, there's nothing wrong unless it is that you are sitting there and you are not getting the answers that you require to understand the broader spectrum of you and your life. If you are sitting there and everybody else is having testimonies but you, if you are sitting there and you are fasting and no results are coming, if you are sitting there and you are praying harder than everybody else around you and your situation just seems to be getting worse, if you are sitting there and you feel like your prayers are being barricaded, they are not making it to God's ears, if you are sitting there frustrated because everything is going the opposite direction of what the preacher says is supposed to be happening, if you are sitting there and something is telling you to run, all right, so I'll share a bit of my experience, and that is what my Tunya instructed me to tell you, because I know for sure it means that there's someone out there who's having a similar experience within the Christian sphere. Alright, so I grew up Christian because my mother was a born-again Christian from the year I was born. She got born again on the year that I was born. So by 7-8 years old, I voluntarily went to the front and I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and then my journey began. And by the time I was 8, I was preaching in the church. I had such a fire filled in me. I was already quite an extraordinary child. The spirit was already taking over my body, and I would get on stage and literally black out preaching. In my street, they used to call me Mam Fundisi. Okay, I was that kid, guys. And then I looked at my mother. My mother was a single parent, a professional teacher, and she was having bone problems. She was having arthritis, okay? And there's no crusade we didn't go to, far and wide. There is no church we didn't go to. There's no tent there. You know the tents? There's no tents we didn't attend, guys. And I could see her struggle financially as well. And all the churches and the pastors would promise that take this oil, take this word, say this prayer, you know, alright, yeah. Until it got to a point where I decided, when I started university, I said, okay, I'm gonna take a break. It ended up being an 8-year break. Not understanding why there were exclusions in Christianity. And what I mean by why there were exclusions is, why is it that some people are praying and their prayers are getting answered but mine? Why is it that I feel misunderstood by this context? Why is it that I feel like a misfit? Why is it I feel like God has favorites? Why is it I feel like this is not it? Why do I feel like it's incomplete? I feel like, yes, okay, oh, great, but it's incomplete somehow, somewhere. And because obviously I was never exposed to indigenous living, and our traditional and tribal ways. I had no idea this world existed, guys. I had no idea. I remember asking my pastor, hey, dude, some weird things are happening. I know something's wrong. I'm not sure. I'm being barricaded all sides. I mean, something's weird. I don't know. Tell me something. Like, is it witchcraft? What is it? Like, tell me. Give me something. Like, say something. And all this pastor used to say is, when are you coming to church? Because I was a worker there. Okay. Or after the 8 years of taking a break, I came back to church super strong. Let me tell you something, guys. There's no 2 weeks that would go past without me not fasting. I lost so much weight. I wasn't sleeping. I was praying all night. Trying to receive these goals that I know that God is capable of. I mean, I'm reading the stories of Abraham. I'm reading the stories of Moses. I'm reading the stories of Joseph. I'm reading the stories of Isaac. I'm reading these stories, guys, and I'm saying, look, if God could send a bird to the desert to give Elijah bread and water 3 times a day, a bird, then surely, 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 this is a God with might, and He's a God with power, and He's